Hello students, today we are going to discuss chapter 2 of class 6 NCERT, that is components of food. So as in the last chapter we discussed food, but where does it come from? In the next chapter, that means chapter 2, we are going to discuss the components of food. So let's start. In chapter 1 we made list of the food items that we eat. We also identified food items eaten in different parts of India and marked them on its map. A meal could consist of chapati, dal and brinjal curry. Another may be rice, sambar and a vegetable preparation of ladyfinger, bhindi. Yet another meal could be appam, fish curry and vegetables. So now we discuss the activity 1, that says a meal usually have at least one item made of some different kind of grain. Other items could be dal or a dish of meat and vegetables. It may also include items like curd, butter, milk, and pickles. Some example of meal from different regions are given in table 2.1. That is, now we'll study or see region wise. What are the grains? What are the items prepared of it? What are the vegetables used in it, and others eaten? So the first region mentioned here is Punjab. In Punjab, the items of grain mainly is makki, that is corn, and roti, makki roti. That is item of dal meat is rajma, that is kidney beans. Vegetables, sarson da saag, sarson saag. Then it is mustard leaf curry. Others curd and ghee. Now next we'll see is Andhra Pradesh, that is items of grains are rice, item of dal meat is tuar dal and rasam. Then is vegetable, that is kundru, dondakai. Others buttermilk, ghee, pickle, avakai. So after seeing this table, we have known that there are a variety of meals available. So let's continue. Sometimes we may not really have all this variety of our meals. If we are traveling, we may eat whatever is available on the way. It may not be possible for us to eat such a variety of items most of the times because we are not used to it. The things that a region or state we eat comes into our daily life, and we do not depend on variety of items that are available on the globe wide, but the availability of things we eat that only. Now let's continue. There must be some reasons though why meals usually consist of such a distribution. So there must be a reason that there is such variety of distribution in the meals that we eat. So there is obviously distribution. So in the next line it is written, do you think that our body needs different kinds of food for some special purposes? So it is yes, our body needs different kind of food for special purposes. So now let's discuss what are the different food items contains different types of special ingredients or nutrients that are used for special purposes. Now we'll directly come to 2.1, that is what do different food items contains. We know that each dish is usually made up of one or more ingredients that we discussed in the last chapter. So which we get from plants and animals. There are two types of ingredients, that is plant ingredient or that is plant source or the animal source. We'll further discuss ingredients that we discussed in the last chapter that are that contains some components that we need that are needed by our body. These components are known as nutrients. So what are nutrients? Nutrients are specific ingredients that contains some components that are needed by our body. These components are called nutrients. This is a very important point, and you need to mark this point as very important. So mark this point as very important. It is very important point. You should know of it. So yes. What we discussed is the nutrients. Nutrients are the ingredients that contain some components. We discussed it. Now, what are these nutrients? The major nutrients in our food are named as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. These are the major nutrients in our food. Now we'll further discuss. In addition, food contains dietary fibers and water, which are also needed by our body. So as we know that water is very important for our body for sustenance, and as well as food also contains dietary fibers that are needed in our body. So do all food contains all these nutrients? So this question answer is no. All the food items do not contain all the nutrients. We'll discuss further one. With some simple method, we can test whether cooked food or raw ingredient contains one or more of these nutrients. The test for presence of carbohydrate, proteins, and fats are simpler to do as compared to test for other nutrients. Let us do these tests and record all these observations in table 2.2. For carrying out these tests, you will need solution of iodine. So iodine solution is needed, copper sulfate, and caustic soda. You will also need a few test tubes and a dropper. So now we'll start. Try these tests on cooked food items as well as raw materials. So we have to test these food items that could be cooked or raw materials. So table 2.2 shows you a way to record the observation from these tubes, test tubes or tests. You can conduct the test either with these or any other available food items. Do these tests carefully and do not try to eat or taste any chemical. If the required solutions are not available in the readily form your teacher will can prepare them as follows. So let's begin. By testing different food items to see if they contain carbohydrates. There are many types of carbohydrates. The main carbohydrate found in a food are in the form of starch and sugar. So the main form of carbohydrates are starch and sugar. So these are starch and sugar. We can easily test if a food item contains a starch. So we need a dilute solution of iodine. So a dilute solution of iodine can be prepared by adding a few drops of tincture iodine to a test tube half filled with water. Copper sulfate solution can be prepared by dissolving 2 grams of copper sulfate in 100 milliliter of water, sorry. 10 grams of caustic soda dissolved in 100 milliliter of water makes the required solution of caustic soda. So these are the basic ingredients that are used for preparation of this activity. Or to test for starch. So starch is the basic ingredient that it is used for testing the carbohydrates, or if the presence of starch is there, so the ingredient or the component will surely be the carbohydrate. This is the simplest form. So take some quantity of food items और a raw ingredient. So आप उसको raw ingredient भी ले सकते हो और cooked food. Put 2 to 3 drops of dilute iodine solution on it. Observe if there is any change in the color of the food items. It turns blue-black if the food items changes blue-black. So it contains starch in it and it is a form of carbohydrate. So a blue-black color indicates that it contains starch. Repeat this test with other food items to find out which of these contains starch. So here is mentioned that we need to enter this observation in table 2.2. These are some examples of carbohydrates. In simple words, we can say carbohydrates are the components that provide us energy or provides energy to the body. Now next we go to test for protein. Take some quantity of food items for testing. If the food you want to test is a solid, you first need to make a paste of it. So we need to grind it. Then put some of is in a clean test tube. Add 10 drops of water to it and shake it well. So now using a dropper, add 2 drops of a solution of copper sulfate and 10 drops of solution of caustic soda. So to the test tube, shake well and left to the test tube stand for a few minutes. So आपको सबको we need to mix this out. हम सब इसको mix कर देंगे. After that, we need to stand this test tube for few minutes. Then we will see. We see that the test tube turns violet. Violet color indicates the presence of the proteins. So the presence of protein is violet color. In the caustic soda, in the carbohydrate testing, it turns blue-black, and in the proteins, it turns violet. This is important points that we need to know for the presence of proteins. Now, this is the activity where we need to test different items. So, starch presence, proteins presence, fats presence. Fats we'll discuss further. So, a raw potato, milk, ground nut, uncooked powdered rice, we'll discuss it further. Now we'll come to fats. Test for fats. Take some quantity of food items, wrap it into piece of paper and crush it. We need to crush the food item or some quantity of food that we taken and wrap in a piece of paper and then crush. Take care that the paper does not tear. Now straighten the paper and observe carefully. Does it have oily patch? This oily patch, if it is there, it indicates that the food contains fats. So hold the paper against light. You are able to see the light faintly through this patch. An oily patch only on the paper shows that the food item contains fat. The food items may contain a little water also. Therefore, after you rub an item on paper, let the paper dry for a while. If there were any water that may have come from food, it would dry up after some times. If no oil patch shows up after this, food item does not contain fat. So we discussed if the presence of starch is there, so turns blue black. Then we discussed about the proteins that turn violet, and now we discuss the fats that show oiliness for its presence. These are some examples of proteins that are meat, chicken, eggs, different types of fruits, grains, and many more. These are some food that contains fats that are eggs, meat, almonds, nuts, grains, chocolate, and most of the junk food also. Like here mentioned is burger and different types of food items that contains fats because it shows oily patch on it. Till now we have discussed three types of components that could be seen in food items that are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Does a food items contain more than one or nutrient also? Yes, a food item can contain more than one nutrient also, because as we see in the examples that I showed you earlier, that the examples of meat, chicken, eggs are in proteins as well as in fats also. These items also come in the vitamins also. So yes, the items can repeat, or we can say that a food item could contain more than one nutrient also, or different nutrients, different food items can also contain different types of components in it. So now we'll discuss, we tested food items for three nutrients that are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. There are also other nutrients like vitamins and minerals. They are present in different food items. Why do we need all these nutrients? So this is the question that the writer is asking you. Why do we need these nutrients? We'll discuss it further. Why do we need these nutrients? So here it mentioned that carbohydrates mainly provide us energy. This is the basic or it is the energy giving food. So next is fats. Fats also give us energy. Fats are also energy giving food. Fats give us much energy as compared to carbohydrates. Foods containing small quantities of foods containing proteins are often called as bodybuilding foods. This is very important point, that what are the um, proteins, that bodybuilding foods. Vitamins help in protecting our body against diseases. So now this question is answered, that why do we need all these nutrients? So we need all these nutrients for the protection of our body against diseases. So we'll discuss what are the vitamins, why are they needed, and what are the different types of vitamins. Vitamins are also help in keeping our eyes, bones, teeth, and gums healthy. So if these basic things of our body are healthy, then it will benefit the functioning of our body great and make us healthy, keep us healthy. So we'll go further. Vitamins are of different kinds. So different kinds of vitamins are there. So these are named on different. So some of these are vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, and there are many more. There are also a group of vitamin called as vitamin B complex. So vitamin B complex only contain many subtypes on it. So our body needs all these types of vitamins in small quantities. In small quantity, all these vitamins are needed by our body. So vitamin E keeps our skin and eyes healthy. Vitamin C helps body to fight against many diseases. Vitamin D helps our body to use calcium for bones and teeth. Food that are rich in different vitamins are shown in figure 2.9, 2.6 to 2.9. So we'll see what are these. These are some sources of vitamin A. So as we see, the vitamin A are milk, fish, oil, different types of fruits. So these are vitamin A examples. So as we have seen that vitamin A keeps our skin eyes healthy. Some sources of vitamin B that are wheat, liver, and rice. So these are some examples of vitamin B. As vitamin B is very important for our body. So next we'll go to vitamin C, that are orange, tomato, guava, lemon, amla. So vitamin C here fight against many diseases. It protects us from many diseases. So now we'll further go to vitamin D, that are some sources of vitamin D, that are liver, eggs, fish, butter, milk. These are some examples of vitamin D. So vitamin D helps our body to uh, use calcium for bones and teeth. Foods that are rich in different vitamin D, vitamin D, that the food which is rich in vitamin D are mentioned here. So we will discuss further. So students, refer this picture that is dedicated to different types of vitamins. So in vitamin A, we can see different types of fruits, that are apple, pear, eggs, carrots, milk, cabbage. Vitamin B, tomato, potato, banana, capsicum, meat. Vitamin B1, that are peas, mutton, or we can say meat, potato, milk, butter, mushroom. Vitamin B2, that is cabbage, bun, bread, eggs. Vitamin B3, that is pineapple, mushrooms, pear, strawberry, meat. Fish. Vitamin B6, peas, fish, meat, potato, milk, fruits. Vitamin B12, that is eggs, milk, cheese, fish, ghee, and meat. Vitamin C, lemon, tomato, orange, grapes, watermelon. Vitamin D, eggs, ghee, milk, mushrooms, fish, sunflower oil. Vitamin E, carrots, eggs, sunflower oil, almonds, or we can say nuts, vitamin F, that are grapes, nuts, peas, sunflower oil, vitamin K, that is cucumber, kiwi, banana, etc. So, students, do you know that our body also prepares vitamin D in the presence of sunlight? So, vitamin D could be, it is very important for our body, vitamin D, that is used for our bones, teeth, and fight against many diseases and makes us healthy. So, in the presence of sunlight, vitamin D is also very important for our body. So, we have to take sunlight for making or preparation of vitamin D. So the next is minerals are needed by our body in a small amount. Each one is essential for our body and what for proper growth of body. So minerals are used for proper growth of our body and to maintain good health. Minerals are used for good health. So some sources of these different minerals are shown in figure 10 2.10. So these are some types of minerals that are some sources of iodine, some sources of phosphorus, some sources of iron, some sources of calcium. So we'll further discuss. However, in the raw material, one particular nutrient may be present in large quantity than others. For example, rice has more carbohydrates than other nutrients. Thus, we say that rice is a carbohydrate rich source of food. So here mentioned is the basic. What is the carbohydrate rich food? So carbohydrate rich food is mentioned here as rice. That is very important for our body. Besides these nutrients, our body needs dietary fibers and water. What are dietary fibers? Dietary fibers are also known as roughage. Roughage is mainly provided by plant products in our food. Whole grains and pulses, potato, fresh fruit, and vegetables are main source of roughage. Roughage does not provide any nutrient to our body, but is an essential component of a food and adds to it in bulk. It helps the body to get rid of undigested food. Water helps the body to absorb nutrients from food. It also helps in throwing out some waste from body as urine and sweat. Normally, we get most of these water from liquids we drink, such as water, milk, tea. In addition, we add water to most cooked food. Let's see if there is any other source that provides us water to our body. Take a tomato or a fruit like lemon, cut it into pieces. Do your hand get wet doing so? So if your hand gets wet cutting this tomato, fruit or lemon, so that contains water in it. So different types of vegetables also contain water in it. So we cannot say that only the drinks like tea or other anything else contains water. There are many things that contains water. So the next topic is dietary balance diet. So the diet which should also contain a good amount of roughage and water. Such diet is called balanced diet. So balanced diet is very important for the body because it maintains good health. Our diet to have different types of nutrients that are needed in the body in a right quantity. Balanced diet is maintenance of right quantity of nutrients that are needed by our body. So after this, a basic information is given. So what is important for us is vitamin C gets easily destroyed uh, by heat during cooking. This is important point. So and the definition of obesity is given. Obesity refers to the food items or condition when we eat wrong quantity of food, that is fried food like samosa, puri, malai, rabdi, peda, that harms our body. If we eat in a uh, right quantity, then it may not harm our body. But if we eat too much, because it contains too much of fat, these are fat-rich foods. So if we eat it in large quantity, it results into condition of obesity that is very harmful to our body. That results to many diseases in our body, many diseases. Now we'll further go. Deficiency disease. A person may get enough food, may not get or may getting enough food to eat, but sometimes the food may not contain a particular nutrient. So if we are eating something, that doesn't mean all the food items that we are eating contains the particular right amount of nutrients that are needed by our body. So if this continues for a long time, so the person may suffer from deficiency. Deficiency of one or more nutrients can cause disease or disorder if we are not eating food in a right quantity of nutrients. It may result into diseases or disorders in our body. Diseases that occur due to lack of nutrients over a long period of time are known as deficiency disease. If a person does not get enough protein in his or her body for a long time, he or she is likely to have stunted growth, swelling of face, discolorness of hair, skin diseases, and diarrhea. This is the picture given of a person who is suffering from a deficiency disease where his body is stunted, his face is swollen, discoloration of hair, skin diseases, and he is facing from diarrhea. So different types of diseases could be made when we are suffering from deficiency of these basic nutrients that are needed by our body. So here we end our chapter. We need to study what are these vitamins and minerals, deficiency related to it, and symptoms of it. So we need to study it. So thank you so much. Bye.